water systems, septic system.
Okay, we already opened the meeting up at 6 p.m. We had to go into executive session to discuss a personnel matter. So, Tom Attorney wasn't present at that time, but he's here now. Gerard Parisi's here making note of the personnel attorney's present. And back to the executive session. And we didn't do the Pledge of Allegiance.
No.
And the invocation, so could we all stand? The invocation, I just give you Bob, would you be so kind as to give the invocation?
Lord, we thank you for the privilege of being here in this meeting tonight, Lord, representing our town. We pray, Lord, that you will just help in this meeting. Pray, Lord, that you will just have your way in all that's said and done. Guide and direct and help us each one just to do our part and do what's in the best interest of the town. We thank you for the help that you have given, and we're trusting and believing in you. In thy name we pray. Amen.
Would you remain standing for the pledge? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Department reports. Nick, is there anything from
No, nothing. Highway?
Yeah. Nothing going on? So we're doing some mailboxes being knocked down again by
Well, the
county.
county's fixing it.
Yeah.
I talked to some of the county guys, I saw them in the stores in there.
Okay, where are we? Water fund, Rick Rourke, Water Commissioner. February 2025, gallons pumped 1,172,900, maximum daily usage 64,900, minimum daily usage 18,700, daily average 41,900. We had the following: water main breaks, leaks, none. Issues, work done. Well, we did have a water main break, but it'll be on the next one. It was on Darrell Road. They repaired it the same day. Issues, work done. Portable generator was set up in case of power failure on Settles Hill Tank. Until our generator is repaired, repairs are scheduled to start on March 13th, 2025. They have to get a crane in there to lift that one out, take it to have it repaired, so it's going to be out a while. It's quite expensive renting that generator we have up there. We have up there, it's about $3,500 so far. That was cheap, so it's not cheap. Plowing snow, water withdrawal reports and ordering parts, general maintenance performed. Respectfully submitted, Rick Rourke. When we had that water main break, we lost 180,000 gallons of water that day on Darrell Road. I guess he's got here, if anybody's interested in it, the New York State Department of Health, Bureau of Public Water Supply Protection, Water Systems Operations Report. That's here if anybody wants to look at it. Okay, code enforcement, building inspector. Total permits 3, permits issue 3. Permit inspection fees collected, $1,581. Building inspections 10, zoning review 1, fire inspection 0, final building inspections 1, certificate of occupancy compliance 1, bank deposit $1,581. Check to supervisor 0, checkbook balance as of March 11th, 2025, $2,002.19. Working on planning and zoning, working on final inspections as needed, reviewing plans as needed. Thomas Verini, building inspector. Any questions? Discussion? Bob? Nick?
No, all set.
Jim?
Nope.
Okay. So. Buildings and grounds, we had a problem over the state police building. Their locks were, their code was bad to get in there. They couldn't get in. They wanted it fixed immediately. I told them they had to call Albany. That's not our responsibility to fix their lock. in their code. On that, the snow plowing has been done over here. We're still paying for the town to plow the state police barracks here and the road coming into the town hall. That's quite expensive this year. We haven't gotten that bill yet. That'll be in the spring of the year. I had to take the flags down over here. I had to get them, they piled snow around the flagpole. I couldn't get to the rope. So I had to have somebody come in and shovel it out so I could get the flags down that were tattered. It's better to have take down flags that are tattered rather than leave them flying. I haven't had a chance to put them back up yet. I always have to have two people to help me when I do it because you don't want the American flag to hit the ground. I might add, about a year and a half ago, and I don't think anybody realized that somebody went out and cut the rope on the gazebo, and they stole the flags. One was the thin blue line, and the other one was the American flag. I just never said anything to anybody. Jack came over and put up the rope back to the pulley. Nick used to come over, his father used to come over and lift me up in a bucket, but I'm getting too old to be lifted up in a bucket anymore. Well, at 77, I don't think that's a good idea to be doing that, but that happened before. As soon as it gets, my wife will come over with me and we'll get the flags put back up. We do the American flag and prisoner of war on this one. Like I said, according to flag etiquette, we don't leave tattered flags. It's better to have them taken down and flying tattered. So, and you're supposed to have a light on one all the time if at night. And if you don't, you're supposed to lower the flag at dusk and raise it at dawn. So fortunately, the light's still working. Other than that, you saw that we had the heating system repaired. We're still waiting to get the air conditioning part of it fixed up before summer. I'm gonna have to get on Eastern and get over here and do that. They had to order the part. I don't know if it's in there or not. Any questions, discussion on this? Bob? No. Jeremy?
No.
Okay. Let's see, do we have anything from the court?
We do. She just sent an email. I can read it for you. It said, slow month, report is $4,138. I will be doing my core A and B training this month to satisfy my judicial requirements for 2025. Respectfully submitted, Michelle Hanlon.
Any questions on that? Jim?
No.
Okay.
Nothing from the assessor.
Forgot your last meeting, Ben. You're up.
Yeah, there was nothing to report last month, so that was fine. This month has been quiet also. I just got a call from Crystal this morning about somebody had a dog on their property on Muriel Peterson. It turned out it was a coyote. She sent a video of it, and it's been hanging around for the last couple of days. I said there's nothing I can do since it's a wild animal. She can call EdCon. I doubt anything will be done, but I did give her the number to contact them. That was it.
Okay, thank you. Is there any questions on that? Bob? Nick? No? Jim? Everybody notices that Ben is not here tonight, he couldn't make it. So, Town Clerk, I forgot you last time too. I'm so sorry about that.
That's all right. Nothing earth-shattering going on. We're still collecting taxes. We did file our extension letter with the county, so that allows us to collect until April 30th. And then after that, we turn any unpaid bills over to the county for further collection. Schenectady County did announce their rabies date for us so far. It's going to be Saturday, November 1st here at the town hall. We didn't get the flyer or any information on registration yet, but we'll do that when it gets closer to. But I know people watch and wait and see if we're going to have it here. So it's Saturday, November 1st this year. Also, I have appointed a new deputy town clerk. Nora Carnival is willing to step in and help out stuff.
Good. Okay. All right. Any questions for Crystal? All right, thank you, Crystal. Appreciate it. Okay, meeting minutes. Is hereby resolved the meeting minutes of February 11, 2025, regular town board meeting are approved or as amended. Discussion?
Make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Crystal?
Councilman Goldie?
Yes.
Councilman Mora?
Yes.
Councilman Myers?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. Call for a public hearing to adopt a local law regarding real property tax exemption for volunteer firefighters and volunteer ambulance workers. We didn't pass this last year. It's not mandatory for towns to do this, but we decided that we should do it. Since we don't have a town tax, the only tax we have is on the election. So that amounts to $31, so the 10% of that is only going to amount to $3 and some odd cents. But our election expense was $31. The county passed theirs for their exemption, and who else passed them? According to Rory, the county, and, the fire districts passed theirs. So if we pass this tonight, which I assume we probably will, this will cover, if there's ever a town tax, that'll mean that they would get the exemption on that too. So, Crystal, would you mind reading that one?
So this is a call for a public hearing to adopt a local law regarding real property tax exemptions for volunteer firefighters and volunteer ambulance workers. Whereas the town board of the town of Princetown recognizes the role of volunteer firefighters and ambulance workers in securing the safety and well-being of the community, and whereas real property tax law section 466A authorizes the town board to adopt a local law providing a partial real property tax exemption of up to 10% of the assessed value of real property owned by qualifying volunteer firefighters and ambulance workers, and the unremarried spouses of enrolled firefighters and volunteer ambulance workers. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Princetown hereby calls for a public hearing to be held on the 8th day of April 2025 at a regular meeting of the town board at the town of Princetown Town Hall, 165 Princetown Plaza, Schenectady, New York, 12306, beginning at 7 p.m. for the purpose of hearing public comment on a proposed local law to provide partial real property tax exemption of up to 10% of the assessed value of real property owned by qualifying volunteer firefighters and ambulance workers, and the unremarried spouses of enrolled firefighters and volunteer ambulance workers. Be it also resolved that the town clerk is hereby directed to publish the necessary notice, including but not limited to publishing a notice of the hearing in a newspaper of general circulation in the town of Princetown at least 10 calendar days in advance of the hearing. Public notice shall also be posted on the town's website at least 5 days prior to the public hearing.
Like I said, since we don't have a town tax, the only tax we have is the election expense. And that was only brought to my attention by Rory, what's his last name? Furman? Yeah, he's the county, has to do with the taxes, so. But like I said, if there ever is a town tax, this will cover it. We're not anticipating any town tax this year. So, any questions, discussion? Bob?
Just wondering, when it says the unremarried spouses, what does that mean? If they have property as well, real property?
I think it's if your spouse passes, and as long as the widowed spouse remains unmarried,
Okay.
they would qualify. As far as what I read in the rule.
Yeah.
Everybody has a copy of the rule.
Okay. Right. No, that's fine.
Nick?
Okay.
Jim?
No, no question.
Okay. Crystal, let's see, is there a motion to accept this?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Crystal?
Councilman Goldie?
Yes.
Councilman Mora?
Yes.
Councilman Myers?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. Planning board alternate. We did have, we're not required to have 7 or 9 people on the planning board. We're only required to have 5, but we do have 7. And there's no provision at all. You can have up to 7. There's no provision at all to have 2 alternates, but we've had them for years, so John Sindoni called and he asked if he could be appointed as an alternate to the planning board, and I said we put it on the agenda tonight. So it's open for discussion. Bob, you got any questions about this?
Just alternate, you'd be filling in if somebody else couldn't be there.
That's it. Nick?
Did you say that we're only required to have 5?
We're only required to have, you can have 5, and you can have up to 7.
Right.
You don't need 7, but you can have up to 7. When they created the planning board, they said they wanted to have 7. So we have, there was never any provision in the, to have 2 alternates, but they decided.
Who's alternate now? We have 1 alternate?
Who's the,
Jen Blessing.
Jennifer.
Okay.
Mike was the other one, but
Mike was the other one, but he's the planning board
Well,
chair.
yeah, I know that.
So, but John called me and he asked if he could be appointed as an alternate, and since we've had him before, I didn't see anything wrong with it. I think everybody knows John Sindoni. You know, I don't even have to say what he does.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, is there a second? I'll make it. Kristen?
Councilman Capoli?
Yes.
Councilman Mora?
Yeah.
Councilman Myers?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. MBT Bank as depository. We were looking at getting a, switching banks because they don't offer us any interest. Jim and I went down to Trustco. They never explained to us that they're which offers excellent interest, but they never explained that after we talked to them locally. They're a savings bank. Savings banks can't deal in municipalities. You have to be a commercial bank, and the closest commercial bank is MBT Bank. I suppose we could come up with a policy, according to our attorney, to an investment policy to switch, and just have our investments and have MBT Bank for our checking accounts.
You mean so we can put money in Putnam?
No, it can't
One
be
of
in,
those
it
funds that
can't,
makes money?
it can't be in any
Risk?
risk. It's gotta be an interest-bearing type of thing, bond maybe.
Well, yeah, well,
What would our investment policy have to be?
Jen would be very conservative, but it would allow you to
invest
do
in,
more than have a checking account. And do whatever you all decide to make it.
you can invest in bonds.
Could we do invest in municipal bonds?
I believe so, yeah.
Well, then maybe that's what we should look at. because
Municipal
they're-
bonds, though, are tax-free, so they tend to be lower, pay a
Well,
little
taxes
lower
on
rate.
money.
We'd be better off with a traditional bond or treasury, or, to be honest with you, a CD, which is about the same now as a treasury. So that would be my recommendation, with a simple CD.
Well, first off, you gotta find a bank that's gonna do that.
It's got to be a commercial bank.
It's gonna be a commercial bank, it's gonna be an investment policy. We can't have our checking account with them, like I said, we went down to Trustco. They were offering 4.5%.
If you had an investment policy that allowed you to do more, you could have multiple accounts with NBT.
Yes, correct.
Just right now, you have no investment
No.
policy, and it's a bit of a
NBT
problem to
actually
start
is.
investments without policy.
Can you write something up for the next meeting?
They have CDs.
Look at it.
Yeah.
They have CDs.
All banks have CDs.
And I would limit it to that, to be honest with you. Bonds can be tricky, and they can fluctuate in value. In other words, if the feds reduce interest rates as they're expected to do twice, possibly 3 times this year, and you own a bond, it goes down to value. We don't want to have
That's if it's
fluctuations.
a municipal bond.
Municipal bonds pay half the interest because they're tax-free. We don't need that.
No, we don't need that.
So I think the logical thing from an investment perspective is strictly a CD.
So we need an investment policy to look up elsewhere and keep MBT Bank as our checking account. And
Sure, we
we
don't
got
have
way
one.
too, pardon?
We don't have an investment policy?
No,
No.
never did.
Okay.
But it doesn't have to be complicated. I think if we could just simply allow ourselves to be able to buy a CD from MBT Bank there, that's really all we need. We're not going to get more complicated than that.
No, it'll pay
It's
interest.
unnecessary.
We don't know how much interest they're gonna pay with their.
Well, everybody's got
Doesn't matter.
CDs.
Something
Everybody
zero.
pays something for CDs.
I mean, more than zero, though. That's what you're going to complain about.
Well, we're not getting nothing now. We got all this money sitting in the bank and we're getting zero interest. It
So
doesn't
you
make
put
any sense.
50,000 in CDs, it's going to be for 6 years, 6 months or a year or whatever. Obviously, the longer you put it in, the more interest you're going to make. And it won't run as broke, there's enough money in the account. Okay,
So we're gonna.
so we want to discuss some policy.
Something simple.
I don't know, we don't need a public hearing for that, we just gotta,
Do we need a public hearing for it?
No, I think it's just a policy.
Yes.
Okay.
okay.
All right, then we don't have to read this, Crystal.
Okay.
You're out.
I thought you had to,
Well, we still need to make that
yeah, we said
policy.
we wanted to put them in the deposit.
Yes, but she don't have to read
Am
this
I
whole
supposed to
thing.
go sign stuff or what?
Yes, supposed to, whenever you want, you gotta let me know.
Well, don't you gotta come with me, no?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Since you don't have to read it, is there a motion to accept this?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Crystal?
Councilman Foley?
Yes.
Councilman Mora?
Yes.
Councilman Myers?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. General funds claim, hereby resolved, the town board approves claim number 32 through 55 of 2025 in the amount of $44,191.17. Discussion. Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Crystal?
Councilman Foley?
Yes.
Councilman Mora?
Yes.
Councilman Myers?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. Water funds claim. It's hereby resolved that the town board approves claim number 16 through 26 of 2025 in the amount of $15,503.56. Discussion.
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Crystal?
Councilman Foley?
Yes.
Councilman Mora?
Yes.
Councilman Myers?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. Highway funds claim. Hereby resolved, the town board approves claim number 3 of 2025 in the amount of $1,150. Discussion.
I'll make it.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Crystal?
Councilman Foley?
Yes.
Councilman Mora?
Yes.
Councilman Myers?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. At every town board meeting, the public shall have the right to address the town board during the portion of the meeting referred to as privilege of the floor. Members of the public shall restrict their comments to items of town business, although there is no official time constraint. Speakers should be considerate of others so that all interested members of the public have an opportunity to be heard. There shall be one portion of the meeting dedicated to the privilege of the floor. All remarks and questions shall be addressed to the board. No person shall enter into discussion with the person having the floor. Council members may address any comments during the portion of the meeting referred to as council member comments. We'll open up privilege of the floor at 7:26, and I would like, since we've been discussing this last week, or last meeting, excuse me, about allowing homes to be in a commercial district, and I see Mike is here. I would like you to explain what you discussed with
Yeah, so I met with,
Doug Cole,
yeah, me and Doug.
what you had. That doesn't mean we're going to accept what you said.
No, me and Doug, well, I don't know
I'd like
if
you to
you're,
explain.
I think me and,
Because I can't hear good. Sorry about that.
yeah,
50 years and
Is it on
in the
here?
trucking industry,
Okay.
I'm not.
so me and Doug Cole spoke this month on allowing residents' homes to be built in the C1, C2 districts. We came up with some plans that we think are gonna be good ideas. It's not much, but, you know, I think Doug sent something over to Gerard for you guys to take a look at. Obviously, I believe it's in the town zoning law that before a public hearing happens anyways, it has to go to the planning board. I'd like to get the planning board's suggestions and discuss it with them also, with maybe Jack and the zoning board, just to see if they have any things that they want to add or we missed or anything like that, just to get it set in stone so we don't open ourselves up for any sort of legal things down the road or any violations or anything like that. So I don't know if Gerard showed you guys everything that we have. We simplified it as much as possible, and I think, I think it'll be okay. I would suggest, like I said, bringing it in front of the planning board, let the members of the planning board and everybody see what we wrote and kind of go from there, and then bring it to you guys as far as a final draft, and then it's obviously up to the town board whether you want to pass it or not. You guys have the final say as for zoning changes, so, you know, that's where it stands now, so,
Are the planning board and the suggestions, have they,
it hasn't gone out, nothing's gone out to the planning board yet as far as the draft that we gave Gerard. I think we were waiting to hear what you guys wanted to do, if you wanted this, you know, that draft, the way it sits, to come in front of us, or if you guys had any suggestions of changing or things like that. But if it's okay with, you know, Gerard and everybody, I can bring that draft the way Doug Cole sent it to him in front of the planning board, get all the suggestions, get all the comments, and then get it back to Gerard with a, you know, to make up a final draft. And then obviously, I believe that needs a public hearing to change the zoning law. But we could discuss it at this month's March meeting in 2 weeks, and then get it back to you, and probably before April's meeting. And then if you guys want to set up the public hearing for,
yeah, we would have to set up a public hearing?
it would be May at that point, I think.
Well, you know my feelings on it. I
Yeah.
never understood that why we can't build a house in a.
Well, that's why we kind of came up with this, to see, you know,
I'm
to make it as
in favor of letting
easy-
Somebody build a house.
to make it as easy as possible for,
Commercial district.
yeah, for that to happen. So, I mean, it all lays on the town board. You guys are gonna be the ones to obviously say yes or no. You guys are gonna be the final say, but if it's gonna happen, I figured let everybody that'll ever have to be involved in, whether it be the zoning board of appeals or the ZRC or us, just put the say in it and do one final draft. And if you guys change it, at least we know that everybody's had their say in it to go with it, so.
Okay, do you have any questions for him, Jim?
No.
Are you in favor of?
I tend to be, I think, you know, property rights are important, and I don't see a big issue with it.
Bob, you got any suggestions on it?
No, I'm for property rights, but I would like to take a look at what our existing zoning is compared to, you know, what's.
They would always have to follow, like Nick suggested, they always have to follow the setbacks and whatever have you.
Yeah, I see that it's following the same setbacks and all, but, yeah, at this point in time, I don't see too much problem with it.
Nick, you got,
I'm up for it. This looks good.
well,
You know,
Yeah,
like I
it's-
said, they'd have to conform, they're gonna build it on the same lot. So if they sell it, they gotta sell it on the same lot unless they subdivide it. If they subdivide it, they gotta meet all the
All the
codes,
requirements
all the
for it.
setbacks and everything.
It wouldn't be able, according to that, it wouldn't be able to be subdivided in a commercial. It would have to be, sell the property, you know what's going with it. The business goes with the house. You can't subdivide it as far as that, so.
Or they would have to do it ahead of time, if they got the area to do it. Because it says here 3 acres.
Yeah, we made it to
That's-
where
Yeah.
we didn't want
Well,
a house built right on top of the actual commercial building itself. So that's when we said,
so if the
Well,
guy
some-
has a property and he has enough acreage, then he doesn't have to sell the house with the business if he just subdivides it.
well,
Well, what's
according to
this
zoning,
covers?
you're not allowed to subdivide in a commercial, you can't have, that was the issue that we ran into before, where you can't spot zone it to have that be, you know, one residential lot in that commercial zone. Basically, what it says is, if the person wants to buy it or sell it, the business goes along with it. And it's, basically, you know, going in before, if you want this property, if you want the house, the business goes with it. Whether, you know, we also talked about, you know, possibly if the homeowner still wanted to be in the house but rent the business, you know, or vice versa, it's still that one property owner's deed. It's still one deed, not two. And that's basically what it is. But like you were saying, if the way we proposed it was, if it's a C1 district, you at least need to have 4 acre minimum. So you would follow, not, you know, an imaginary line basically that would say a GR3, which is all basically in the town, the GR3 is the adjoining, or the adjacent zones for most of your C1, C2 districts. So we just said, on a C1, C2 district, if you don't have 3 other acres, like for a C1, it would be 4, for a C2, it would be 5, then it's not possible to build a residence. And you still have to follow the 50-foot setbacks. You need separate water system, separate septic system, and all that. So, like I said, I'll bring it up in front of the planning board. They might have,
That's in the house, we have to go to business.
Yeah, we're good. It would.
therefore, you're not building a house right on top. You're not trying to squeeze so much into
Right.
one little area, so it doesn't look like a house is sitting on top of a commercial building. Like with the instances of DeJohn, I believe he has enough area up there to put his house in the back, and therefore he would qualify.
They conform to the area variance. Need 3 acres for a house or 1 acre for commercial, in C1.
How many acres does he have?
I don't know. I'd have to look at the,
9, I think.
yeah, I think it was 8 or 9 according to the drawing, so he's got enough, but he said if you're in a C1 district and you only have 1 acre, you
won't be able to do it.
won't be able to do it, or 2 acres. If you had 3.85 acres, you wouldn't be able to do it. You've got to meet the 1 acre plus the 3 acres, so you'd have to have a minimum of 4 acres. And I don't know how many properties C1, C2 is left in town that could conform to that. So I don't think we're talking about it's going to be hundreds of people coming in to do it. It might be a couple people here, a couple people there, but I don't think there's that much commercial space in town where you're gonna have to worry about, a lot of people coming in to deal with that.
No, there's not a lot of commercial property up there that we conform to.
Not on 20. The 20 side is pretty much taken up. I think there might be some up Route 7 towards the end there, but that's about it.
That's pretty well used up too.
So yeah, we tried to come up with the best thing to make it work, and if you want, we can, we'll take that, and Gerard, we can pass it out to the planning board and the zoning board. I'll ask Jack to have the ZBA come in to this month's planning board meeting and just get a couple more suggestions, and then we can send you, I can send, or Doug Cole can send Gerard a final draft for you guys to look over, and if you say, yeah, it's good, then, you're the final say for the changing in the zoning, so.
Jim, you got anything?
No.
Any questions?
No.
Huh? No. Ned?
Just a question of the board. The way they draft it is just a question for you guys. It's one family dwelling, it doesn't have 2 family dwellings. Is that what you wanted to say?
Yeah.
Or you referred to, so you want to limit it to 1 family?
Yeah, you want a duplex.
Okay.
Now you're getting in apartments.
Yeah, we figured multifamily, we didn't want multifamily if you wanted to have a single family
Yeah, this is
in
for
the
a guy
district to
that's got his
live.
business and wants to live there, basically.
Right, no apartments or duplexes or anything like that. It's just
Suppose they
single.
wanted an in-law apartment. We do have that, don't we?
Everybody does that.
Well,
No, we don't have that.
Well, I think we do, don't we?
I don't know, I can't remember.
I think we do.
We have an in-law apartment.
I think we do. So if you wanted to
That's in
have.
residential,
It's in residential.
That wasn't commercial.
wasn't in commercial.
And Gerard is looking this up to see if there's anything in there about it. I think there is.
In the residential, there is an in-law apartment.
Yes, I know there
We
is.
passed that a long time ago.
Because we do have homes here that have
In-law apartment,
in-law apartments.
lots of them.
Yeah, I mean, that's also something we can discuss too, and put
It
it,
should be in the discussion.
put it in the final.
That should be in this though. That has nothing to do with this, in-law apartment.
I don't see anything, you just looking quick, specifically about in-law apartment, unless it falls under accessory building or accessory structure, which it might. Just looking quick. quick, I don't see anything specific.
We never did pass it down.
I mean, I'm just looking
I know we
quick.
talked about it.
I don't have the whole thing memorized, that's for sure.
But we can look at it. Well, it has nothing bearing on this though.
Well, if you want to allow in-law apartments.
Yeah.
Well, technically, well, that's another issue.
Well, I don't want to change it twice, let's do it the way you want it the first time.
Well, that's
Okay, if we have a public hearing, you change them both, is
So
that what you're saying?
We need to make sure it calls
Well, I just
out
wanna
in
do it the way you want it.
C1, C2, there's no
However you
in-law
want it.
apartment.
Well, if they want, a guy
Yes.
wants it, they're gonna have to do, come back,
No
if he says
apartments
he
of
wants his
any
in-law
kind.
to live in there with him.
And that takes care of it.
Well, in the residential section, you should, I mean, once you build a house there, you're converting that part to residential, where the house is, you're gonna be on the same property.
I don't know, we can look at this and,
You can eat that later.
thanks. We'll look at this and, our attorney will get back.
Yeah, sure, let me ask Doug, I'm not sure if just, if we say one family, if that would include an in-law apartment or not, we have to go through it and see if it.
Yeah, that would be something we'd have to look at. But like I said, that's kind of just, you know, me and Doug, rough draft kind of, you know what I mean? We can hone it in a little bit better, but we wanted to at least give you guys something to kind of take a look at to see what direction we're going in as far as changing it. And then, you know, now that all the members there have said, yeah, so we'll fine tune it and hone it in and then I'll give Gerard the final draft on it, and then it's entirely up to the town board what you want to do with it, so.
Okay. Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Any others for, privilege of the floor?
So you need a motion to refer that.
Pardon?
You don't need a motion to refer that.
Back to the
To the
planning board.
planning board for the report and recommendation.
Okay.
Here, so, you can need a motion. You can wait.
Privilege of the
Privilege
floor.
of the floor is over.
We don't need another.
You need it now, close
Yeah.
privileges of the floor.
Yeah, I
You
know.
don't have to make a motion.
All right, any others? No others? Then it's, we'll close it up at 7:40. Then we're gonna have to have a motion to refer this to the planning board.
Just recorded.
Mhm.
So I'll just try to say the motion. Whereas section 10.4 of the town law zoning code allows the town board the power to amend the zoning law, subject to the referral to the planning board for report and recommendation. I guess be it resolved that the town board, town of Princetown, refers to the planning board for report and recommendation the proposed change to allow residential use in commercial zones received by Doug Cole on March 7th, 2005, as written.
2025.
2025.
You got all that, Crystal?
Mhm.
Okay, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Crystal?
Councilman Goldie?
Yes.
Councilman Mora?
Yes.
Councilman Myers?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. Council member comments and discussion. Bob, you have anything?
No, I'm good, Lou. Thank you.
No, you got
I'm
anything?
good. I'm good.
Jim?
I'm gonna be in contact again with our sign people. We're very anxious to get this thing started. We couldn't do it over the winter, of course, but we're gonna put the digital sign up close to Route 7 near the State Police Building. That'll be able to identify our town and put messages that can be changed easily through digital equipment that we'll have here. Department heads will have an opportunity to make some signs and what have you, something important is coming down and they want to do that. We'll have to figure out how to coordinate it, but we'll do that. It's going to be a big improvement over what we got now, which is just a wooden sign you can't see and no lights. So hopefully sometime between now and the end of summer, we'll have this thing constructed and should really be a big improvement for us.
Yeah, we are gonna move forward on that. We already passed a resolution on that to go forward with it, so. Okay. I don't have anything else, so is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Person?
Councilman Bowles?
Yes.
Councilman Bowles? Councilman Myers?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. Thank you all for